So I'm going to move along because our next guest actually has to get out of here after this to host his own show at the UCB Theater. And I'll tell you why in a minute. He is the founder of the world-famous prank collective Improv Everywhere, which I'm sure if you haven't heard, you've maybe seen, you're one of the hundreds of millions of people who've seen their videos on YouTube. Really awesome pranks. Please welcome Mr. Charlie Todd. Charlie Todd. Little bop for you.
I like it.
Bop at the top.
It's a great band.
I know you got to get moving, so we got to squeeze you in here.
I got time.
You got time?
Yes.
All right. Well, I just didn't want to do the interview. I really just want to get you here. Really? Do we have to? Charlie, big fan, participant, past participant. I gotta say. So, anyone else who participated in Improv Everywhere? No pants subway rides, any of these things? Double. Well, we're gonna show some videos for people who don't know what this is, but.
I was thinking of participating.
You ought to.
I'll keep thinking about it.
No pants subway.
I'll design something for you, Marty. You got a type that I don't always have.
Yeah, this is good. You're always looking for people, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's,
That's my legs.
Okay. All right, Dad, you want to take this for a seat here? I don't try to feature a little more with it. Pull the reins back just a bit. Let's try to get through this. We're getting through this together. You kind of bounce off me, I'm the star, okay? Charlie, good to see you here. My first question for you is, is this full-time at this point?
It is, yeah.
You're a full-time prankster.
I'm a full-time prankster.
That's unbelievable.
I mean, I started Improv Everywhere in 2001.
Right.
The first probably 5 years or so, I had a 40-hour-a-week office job, just making ends meet. And then I was an improv teacher at UCB for a few years as well. But it's reached the point that the website keeps me busy enough that I have to do it full-time.
Wow, and the website, and not just the website, you're touring with the show, right? Is that some revenue coming in there?
Yeah, I toured to college campuses and to festivals and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the coolest things ever created, basically. Charlie, you did this thing on a whim, right, in 2001. Why don't you explain the humble beginnings of Improv Everywhere? I know you've answered it 100 times before.
Sure. Yeah, so I moved to New York in 2001 with a drama major from UNC Chapel Hill. I wanted to be an actor, comedian, and that's a very difficult thing to do, to be 22 years old and no one knows who you are and you want to get into comedy or whatever. Yeah. Well, a lot of us have been through that. But I was hanging out with a friend one night from college who hadn't seen me in a while, and I was wearing a shirt that I just bought at H&M. And
hey, we got this suit, baby.
it's a great store. It's a great store. But based on this sort of plaid hip shirt I was wearing, it's like, oh, you look like Ben Folds. I don't really look like Ben Folds. If you guys know the musician Ben Folds, he's 10 years older than me. We don't really look alike.
That's a big fan.
Yeah? But my response to my friend was like, you know what? That's funny. Why don't we try to make that happen tonight? Why don't we try to fool people into thinking I'm Ben Folds? So we went into a bar in the West Village, not too far from here, and I entered first, and then he entered a couple minutes later, and we spent 30 minutes apart, where I was at the bar, he was at a booth, he ate an entire meal, and then he came up to me when it was time for him to get another drink, and he said, oh my God, you're Ben Folds. I'm a huge fan, could I please have an autograph? I signed his cocktail napkin, and he walked away, but he had said that loudly enough that everyone in that area of the bar had overheard him.
Sure.
And pretty soon the word spread to the entire bar, and I had other people coming up, asking for autographs, people taking pictures with me. The bartender gave me free drinks, the girl sitting next to me gave me her phone number. And I had just moved to New York a month before, and it's this wild experience where for 4 hours I impersonated this musician. And at the end of the night, I had to make a decision, like, am I going to reveal that this has been a prank, right? Because, am I going to end it by saying, like, you guys are idiots, my name's Charlie Todd, I just moved here. Yeah. And, like, that seems so lame to have, like, a punked moment or whatever. So instead, I was just like, okay, thanks, my friends just texted me, I'm going to go meet up with them. And I got excited about the idea of doing pranks that were essentially tricked people into having a good time.
Yeah.
And in having a good experience, like, oh, that was the night that I hung out with this celebrity.
Right. Yeah, even though you completely lied to them.
That was a complete con, yeah. But it was a con where I didn't ask for money, I didn't, promote a show, like, I just, our product, it just disappeared.
It's funny, I've tried that myself, actually, in person, but I did it with Will.i.am.
It's not right for you.
Didn't work.
Poor choice.
It was a bad choice.
You shaved your beard, maybe.
Yeah, I did shave, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I should go like John Zorn or something. No one. Okay.
Not a lot of Zorn fans.
So I just want to show an example of what that one night in this bar became, because it really 250 million views. He had a TV deal, right? I mean, it's a huge thing, full-time job. So can we show just a clip of? Let's do the first one. This is the most famous prank. I say Frozen Grand Central.
All right, thanks for coming out, everybody. Really excited that all you guys are here. We've got a really...
Now maybe somebody's thinking, hey, wait a minute, they just stole that idea from that cell phone commercial. No, that came way up. Well, what did you think about that commercial? Do you remember?
You're talking about the AT&T one?
Did you have something to do with that one? The one where they go to Grand Central, the guys like flash mobbing with the trench coat.
Right. Yeah, no, I had nothing to do with that. I mean, there have been a number of brands who have created similar stunts.
Yeah, and you get no credit for that, no residual?
No.
You can't really copyright this.
You can't really copyright. I mean, look, I'm not going to copyright freezing in place. That's
Right.
for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, the AT&T thing didn't bother me at all. Actually, there have been some brands that have kind of either directly copied a project of ours or have gone out and done very similar events. But the AT&T thing was fiction. I mean, they did it at Grand Central. I mean, it was like, I guess it's like a guy in a trench coat.
Yeah.
I don't really understand what the prank was supposed to be.
Like get naked at Grand Central or something?
Yeah, it's a number of people in trench coats, and then he gets the text saying that the event had been moved to 30 minutes later or
So it was
something.
very poorly conceived.
Yeah, but ultimately, I
Don't
mean,
use AT&T.
but that was sort of funny is that he got the text late. It's like, that's all I know about AT&T is when I was on AT&T, I got my text like hours late or whatever. But to me that was ultimately flattering that this YouTube thing I had created was well known enough that an ad agency thought they could make a national commercial that referenced it. So ultimately that was pretty cool.
See now, for years you've always told me to get into advertising, Dad, right? You always say go to advertising.
Plastics.
Plastics is where the real money is. I'm heavily invested in plastics.
Have you considered, maybe I've got these talents, I can go to an advertising company, and probably some firm would pay me a lot of money to do this stuff.
I've done a little bit of consulting. I mean, I have brands that come to me and say, we have this idea, can you consult on it? Or I've directed, a video for a brand. But I try to keep it separate from Improv Everywhere, because sort of the spirit of Improv Everywhere is doing things that are unauthorized and a little bit against the rules and against the man, if you will.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, not with a really agenda to be to stick it to the man necessarily, but our projects are free and without sponsorship and message. So, but no, occasionally I will work on something like that just to pay my rent.
Yeah, but there's got to be the pressure. I know you want to keep it free, and everyone wants to do it, but there's got to be the pressure to, branded pranks, frozen Panera bread.
That sounds disgusting, actually.
Yeah, well, not the bread itself, but...
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, though. I mean, I've seen people who have... A lot of people have... the more interesting thing about the Grand Central video, it went viral and has like 30 million views, but I think more interesting, like hundreds of different groups have gone out and done it in other cities.
Well, that's definitely the coolest thing about all this. I mean, you've basically given birth to this international community of other kinds of pranksters, and all, not officially Improv Everywhere, there are no chapters or anything, but they're all in this very casual, free form, and they bring you in. I mean, you get flown around the world, you travel around to the festivals and meet people.
I've done a lot of traveling the last couple of years where I've gone to other countries, to festivals, to stage similar events. So,
I mean, that's the coolest thing.
It is, yeah. I mean, I've been in weird places too. Like I went to a small town in Russia where we did a prank in a furniture store where the Russian police showed up, and the police in Russia wear like army helmets.
Yeah.
And I'm holding a hidden camera inside like a box, which I'm sure is not legal. And I'm just hoping they don't find my camera, because if they said one sentence to me and I spoke in English, like I don't know what would have happened to me. But I got away with it.
What was the prank in the small town of Russia like?
I worked with some students in Russia. It was like this program where I was like the prank teacher to these Russian college kids. It was really weird, but
sounds like a sitcom.
Yeah, it would have been a great sitcom. But they developed this idea with my help, where we went into a furniture store. There was maybe 30 of them, and they all just fell asleep on all the mattresses. Sort of like an IKEA type situation where everybody just like got in bed and went to sleep. And the women working the store were sort of very cliche, like Russian babushkas, just like very large, like burly women.
And when you cut them in half, there's no one inside.
Exactly, yeah. It's very difficult. But they they called the cops and freaked out. I think the Russians who worked on it could understand what they were saying. I couldn't, but apparently they thought everyone was a heroin addict. And it was just these heroin addicts who were coming in to take a nap. Just coincidentally, 30 heroin addicts showed up to set. Okay, I guess that makes about as much sense as some American kids playing a prank.
Right, yeah, look at it both ways. Well, that's very cool. And you've got the book out, right? There's the Improv Everywhere book, and DVDs for sale, and there's a documentary I hear in the works.
Yeah, a friend of mine who works on all the videos with me is making a documentary about the group. So hopefully about a year from now, that'll be ready.
That'd be cool. And what's like? Is there an ultimate end game, or is there a what's next? I mean, you're always just doing more pranks.
Yeah, I'm always doing new stuff. I mean, you know, I made a TV pilot, as you said, a few years back, and that was exciting to make. And didn't get picked up. It was for NBC. So that was sort of a setback at first. But then I realized that what's exciting about being a content creator in our modern times is that you don't need television.
Right.
That, you know, I'm able to reach millions of people on YouTube. So why not keep doing that, be my own boss?
We're already living the future. You're spearheading it. We're doing this, guys. Throw away your televisions.
That's right.
Charlie, and also UCB, you want to promote your weekly show? You're doing that right now, aren't you?
Yeah, I host Cage Match at UCB, but every Saturday night I'm on a team called The Curfew.
Which is actual improv.
Actual improv. Improv Everywhere is a terrible name for my group, by the way. It's neither improv nor is it everywhere. But no, I do improv comedy at UCB.
Well,
I've tried to impersonate Prince Charles a few times.
You know what? You would be a great Prince
The
Charles.
Queen, Prince Charles.
I could take you to a bar and have people think you're Prince Charles. No doubt.
Go for it.
Can you do a Prince action? Let's hear it a little bit.
I don't have to speak like the Prince, just look like him.
We'll say you have laryngitis.
Yeah.
You're available for photos, but not for conversations.
I'm a bit chilly today.
Yeah.
That was all right.
We can work on that. Got some future here. Let's get it going. Charlie Todd, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.